Hey folks, welcome to a special live stream. My name is Chris, and this is the Pros and Cons channel. You may know me from Comic Tropes if you're into comics. That's my, I'll call it my main channel. It's certainly my bigger channel. But I have this channel too, where I talk about comic book news. I do fun shows like looking at bad movies or schlock movies with comic book artist Jim Mafood, and occasionally I drew. Well, I have drawn, so that's technically accurate. I haven't made a mistake yet. Sometimes I do a live stream where I draw. I love drawing. I'm not fast, and I'm not one to claim that I'm great, but I do love drawing, and I've got a special reason to tonight. I'm going to take a little while to explain it, and then I'll get into actually drawing for everybody. Sort of having a preamble here to let the audience sort of get alerted in case they want to. Yes, it's too late to vote for who I'm drawing, although skid mark versus reflector, clever idea. Nice to see you here. Preston asks if it's too late to draw Baroness because it's in the same universe as Transformers, and I've got this Transformers blank cover here that I'm going to draw on. It is too late this year. Last year, I actually did donate a Baroness piece to this charity that I'm about to talk about. And I'm doing something for them again. I'll explain the charity and explain what I'm doing. But there's a YouTuber who is, I think, in the chat. Let me just go back and double check. Yeah, he may not still be here, but Bronze Age Nerd has a YouTube channel about comics, and every year he puts on a growing event. He calls it Heroes for Heroes, and it's to support a nonprofit charity called Mission 22. Specifically, they raise funds for our veterans for their mental health, which mental health is definitely a really important subject for me. I've talked about it a little bit, yeah, if I can just donate some art and that even gets $10 for the charity, I'll feel like I've helped. I do have a link in the description if you want to donate just for the heck of donating, donate early. And let me actually get that link and put it in the chat too. Give me 1 second here. And I'd love to say hello to some of the folks that are in the chat room. I will get to that. Got a little bit of preamble here. It's just going to be a chill show, though. You know, I don't have like lots of topics to talk about or anything along those lines. I'm going to be drawing and talking with all of you. What will happen is I'm going to draw as much as I can tonight. If I don't finish it, I'll finish it on my own time. But this will be up for auction, whatever I finish, on Saturday on Bronze Age Nerd's channel. He's going to have a long stream. There's a lot of great pieces there. We're talking original art by comics pros. We're talking signed comics and prints by pros, key issues, sometimes slabbed, sometimes not. Lots of really cool stuff. And I'm just going to, just at the top here, put that link in and highlight it. It's not the prettiest link. There's probably a tinier URL I could have grabbed. But Mission 22, and specifically this campaign, is Heroes for Heroes. Again, it's in the link in the description if you just want to click something. But I wanted to highlight that. That's why we're here today, is to, hi, Kat. I've got a guest. Jack says meow. So anyway, let me say hello to a few folks in the chat. I've sketched out a little bit. You can't see it too much because that is pretty faint pencils, but it's Soundwave versus Snake Eyes. And if you can't tell, it is an homage to Transformers #3 by Marvel, because Skybound released this sketch cover variant of Transformers #1, and that is the original sort of Marvel series. Can somebody help me out? If I'm doing an homage, I should have checked. Who drew the original Transformers #3 cover? It featured Megatron and Spider-Man. if anybody can tell me who the artist was, I feel bad. I meant to look that up, and I forgot. I've got a guess or two, but I'd rather get it right. Hello, West Coast Dave Engers, also got a great channel. Also, by the way, Dave and Christopher, Bronze Age Nerd, and I are all comic book YouTubers, all in Washington State. So there's a little bit of a community out here at this point. I did win an editing award this year for my show. Yes. Allison, always lovely to see you. Hey, it's my sister, folks. Angie and I are at the bar playing a Family Feud type game. Well, good luck. Good luck there, player. That's my Steve Harvey. Did you guys think Steve Harvey took over the show for a minute? No, it was all me. It's all me. Hello, Richard. Hello, Indy and Omni. Oh, you're at work. I totally understand. Let's see. How light do you have to press so the ink doesn't seep through the paper? Not really a concern. They printed on a nice cardstock, so I'm really not concerned. Oh, you know what? I just did a sketch cover for a friend, but I was just thinking I'd show it to you, but I already gave it to him. So unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm sorry. Hello, Crichton. Oh, if you can hit like, that's very kind. Very much appreciate that stuff. Hello. Oh, yeah, that's a great name. That's a great name. Let's see. Oh, yeah, these are some of the things that will be up for auction. Yeah, original art, folks, by Mark Bagley, also a veteran. There's a piece I have my eye on, although I work on Saturday, so I probably won't get to bid on it, but a piece by Chip Zdarsky, who's an artist that I like and a writer. Was it Michael Golden that did the cover to 3? It might have been. It could have been. Oh, I don't think it was Mark Teixeira. He probably did something for IDW or something, right? Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you. All right. So it's a small chat, but that is A-okay with me. Let me bring this up. You know what? I think I need some more light. I know that puts a harsh light on me, but I think it will let you see what I'm drawing better. And I'll get some of this old art out of the way. Very prepared, aren't I? Very, very prepared. Lots of this is just sort of unfinished sketches that I was working on. All right. Ay. More than I realized. I was trying to not have too many distractions here. Let there be light. Oh, original art for this Saturday on this channel. Mark Bagley, Chip Zdarsky, David Mack, Dan Parent, love Dan Parent, Brian Cheng, Sean Chen, and yes, me, Comic Tropes. Thank you. Mike Zeck does make sense. Okay, thanks for double checking. I think that probably is who it was. That makes a lot of sense to me because there was a Spider-Man on it, and he's definitely got a distinct way of drawing Spider-Man. I thought I could swap that out with Snake Eyes and have Snake Eyes sort of instead of Spider-Man swinging on his webs, I'd have Spider-Man swing on cassette tape guts from Soundwave. Hopefully that's fun. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on a couple places, to be fair. I've had a Comic Tropes account on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, almost the same thing. If I could use Twitter as little as possible, that would make me happy. I am still on there because a lot of people still are. Maybe this will balance things out. But I'm trying to move to other channels because some others are friendlier. Let's see. I'm doing okay. Yeah, Blue Sky has a really big comic book community specifically. So that part has been very nice to engage in. I'm going to start by drawing Snake Eyes because he's in the foreground. And after I sort of get some fine detail, I'll see if I need to thicken some of the exterior lines. A pro would probably just know right off the bat exactly what to do, but I need a little experimentation to figure that out. But I'll just tease something for my channel. I'm going to have a pair of interviews on the show sometime soon, and I've also recorded and am in the process of editing a deep dive on a writer that I like a lot, who wrote one of my favorite Spider-Man stories. So there's the interviews, folks. I'll just tease it here. There's less than 50 of us, so it's not really spoiling for a lot of people or anything. I've interviewed this week Peach Momoko, Jeff Johns, and Brian Hitch, and I think all of them have some very interesting things to say about the craft of making comics, the actual process. So that was really, really exciting. Let's see. Blue Sky is literally buckling under the influx of new people. Yes, that is true. It doesn't have, the finances and the backing of some of these big companies. So there's been I think it might be the #1 social app that's being downloaded right now. And that's a lot. Oops. Ha! My iPhone started playing the episode. Sorry if you got some echo there. That was weird. I don't even know why it would do that. I must have somehow bumped a series of buttons. Here's some more things that will be donated. Let's see. Signed items by Jim Starlin, Todd McFarlane, Simon Beasley, Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, Lee Weeks, Brian Posehn, Patton Oswalt, Joel Jones, Randy Emberlin, another local, Chris Bachlow, and more. Oh my God, folks, isn't that a little exciting? So you could get something like this at like a great price, honestly, and be supporting a charity. That's a win-win for everybody. Oh, yeah. So I did, and I think it went very well. And that one requires a little bit of editing, so it's going to take a little while to come out. I want to tighten that up because of the translation gap, and also include some images that speak to her work process. So yeah. Oh wow! I can't believe he's so picky. I like this. That's very positive. Honestly, a lot of stuff went for great prices. The thing is, almost everything here has been donated. So whatever it raises goes straight to charity. There's no overhead. There's no paying the creators for this. It's really, really cool. It's impressive. Yeah, a Joel Jones signature. Pretty impressive. By the way, Christopher, Bronze Age Nerd, I just want you to know, if you would like, no pressure, because I know you've got family and obligations and weren't expecting this, but I did message you the link to this. If you wanted to jump on and explain the charity and Saturday's event better than I am while I draw, you're more than welcome to. I sent that to you through the Bird site. Just if you want to, no pressure. Hello, Actual Dracula. Look at that. Great bat stuff. I would love that in a nice compilation. What Enrique is asking about is there was a period of time where Eastman and Laird were very busy as Ninja Turtles was taking off, and they let a lot of their fellow professionals write and draw stories in the main title. Now, most of those have been collected in trade paperback form, but a few, for instance, the Rick Veitch 3-part storyline, The River, have never, the creators have never given their rights to, or maybe they did once or twice, but like not in a current format have they, and not for a long time, have they allowed that stuff to be reprinted. So it's very hard to come across some of these stories. I would love it. I'll be honest. I don't think it's super likely anytime soon. Doing your best in chat. Yeah, you're being a dad. Totally get it. And I know I look weird when I take my glasses off and I'm tired and I've got like these eye bags. What can I say? I can definitely see the artwork better if I take off my glasses. So thank you. Oh, they're great. They're so great. So that's a really cool question. I would love that. This might go for a while because, you know, I'm just drawing, man. Let's give Snake Eyes some grenades. He's a commando. He almost always runs around with grenades strapped to his chest, which dangerous. You'd think Hawk or Duke would go, Snake Eyes, that is far too dangerous. Stop running around with all those grenades on your chest. You could get hurt. And then he says, I'm really enjoying the Energon universe, folks. I don't know if anybody here got a chance to pick up G.I. Joe #1 this week. I won't spoil anything, but it's pretty cool. It's doing some really cool character work. A brand new character introduced. You know, characters working on different sides than they have in the past. Just really, really fun. I think that they found a cool way to integrate it with Transformers. Yeah. Let's see. Do some older comics smell like pepper due to the paper acidity? I've never considered a pepper smell. Next time I'm around a bunch of old comics, I'll have to take in that scent and wonder. I don't know if it has a pepper smell. I've always sort of felt a woodsy type of smell. And honestly, sometimes, depending on the collection, it can almost be a mildewy smell. And then you're like, questionable. I've never thought of pepper, but it's possible. Anything's possible, right? With comics, anything is possible. It has been a very busy week for me with the show. So even though this is technically also like content and stuff, I had carved out that I was going to do this. And this to me is relaxing. I don't know about all of you. I find drawing therapeutic. I mean, every once in a while you're like, oh, I don't want to make a bad line here. Like I could mess up here so bad. But I find drawing so relaxing ultimately, or really any art. You know, sometimes I just do things that like are outside of my wheelhouse. But like if somebody invites me, you know, to like a drink and paint or, you know, like a pottery class or something, I love doing stuff like that. I love it. Holy moly, named your daughter after a Transformer. What would a Transformer name that fits for a lady be? B? Did you name her B after Bumblebee? I don't know. That feels like could work. I hate the old attic smell on some of my Silver Age books. Yeah, it's not always good in a big group. One comic can smell good. A whole box can be a little stinky. I spray Axe body spray on my comics so they smell like bros. Oh, man, your comics must be, you know, going to the gym and getting laid like crazy, man. No mistakes. Found no pepper smell. Alita, that would be good. Hello. Optimus Prime is my daughter's name. If I have a child, they're going to be called Alex Toth. That would be respect. That is respectful. I considered really loading this Snake Eyes up with, you know, a tactical vest and a bunch of guns and swords, but due to the nature of this layout, it would really clutter things up. If I was somebody really skilled at like a Lean Claire art style, like a Jeff Darrow, I could probably pull it off. But my hand is just not quite that deft. So I think I might leave it with literally just this pack of grenades, and we'll just assume he's already expended his entire artillery trying to take out the gigantic robot. If I can finish this in a reasonable amount of time, somebody in the chat asked if I could draw Baroness on this, and I drew her last year, but what I can try to do, if I get everything done, I'll try to throw in a remark, because everybody does kind of like Baroness. So maybe I can throw in a remark to just spice it all up. We'll just assume that, like, her floating head is because she put all these events into motion. She was trying to take out Snake Eyes, but instead, of course, Snake Eyes got the upper hand. Big fan. If you want to know any more about the charity, please reach out. We are helping veterans with their mental health with this one. Yes, we are. Oh, it's that, Stepan? I didn't even realize. That's exciting. Alex Soth was the meanest son of a bitch to ever work in comics. Your child will have a lot to live up to. But he was so talented. But yeah, if you ever want to see some real sparks fly, just in the written word, oh my God. Okay, Steve Rude obviously has a nice, clean, classic style, very reminiscent of a lot of what Alex Toth would do. And one time he sent him a Johnny Quest page, or series of pages, to get Toth's opinion on them. And it is the most savage critique you've ever seen. Not that any of it is wrong per se, but it also doesn't necessarily make it right. There are more than one ways to attack a page. And I lean towards thinking that, like, Toth's opinions are right. But if you looked at the pages, they're not bad at all. And he's just a savage. He just takes down poor Steve Rude in this one interaction. It is out there if you ever want to read it. Just Steve Rude, Alex Toth. If you Google that, maybe someday I'll make like a short or something, because it is just brutal. If we donated enough, would you draw original characters? Oh, wow. I don't want to overcommit, because I am trying to do this and get out some comic tropes episodes right now. So I can't overcommit there, but I'll tell you what. If there was interest in something like that, maybe I do a different charity down the road when I could carve out some time. If there was interest in my art, but that's also a lot of pressure to get that right. That's a lot of pressure, which a pro probably wouldn't feel. But I don't really consider myself a professional artist. It's something that I'll give some serious consideration to, though, because if I could raise money for charity, yeah, I would do it. That would make me feel good. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Hulk versus Superman. There's one. You know what? Was that included in the recent Marvel DC omnibuses that they released? I'm wondering. Did they include everything? Appreciate the ideas. Sincerely. Thanks. Okay. Yes, I was, and I'm proud of that fact. And I use it to throw it in the face of people who are like really mean and tell me that I don't know anything. But it is different to be, an artist in an anthology than to be nominated for like, artist of the year or something. And the book didn't win. But yes, I did draw for a book that was nominated for an Eisner, and I'm very proud of that. War Stories and Battlefields by Garth Ennis, pretty great comics. I wish Ennis was more known for his war comics. I agree that that's a genre he can tackle pretty well. I think that he can do what would you call it? Dark humor, like really black comedy, in a very satisfying way. Not every writer can. Bear with me. I may have to take a small break to feed my cats if they get really wild, because that would be obnoxious for the show, I know. The book is called Trickster. It's all stories by Native Americans telling their tribe's version of a trickster legend, which could be a spirit or a god or an animal, something like that. And I did a story. None of these people were professional comic book writers or anything, just trying to adapt it into a new medium and make it relevant for younger people, in a sense. Just keep it in the public eye. Highlight these stories, these tales. And I did a story for the Wampanoag tribe, which is, it's a total coincidence, but I'm from Massachusetts, and that's where the Wampanoag tribe is from. So that was actually really cool for me to get to work on a story that was set in basically my backyard. That was interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I can't sleep well these days. Not great, to be honest. I sleep in little bursts these days. I sleep in 2 to 3 hour bursts, and then I just wake up. I cannot sleep for more than 3 hours. Thank you. Whoops. We're doing okay. Yeah, fighting some colds and stuff, but nothing too dramatic, I don't think. Thank you for the care and an interest. I appreciate that. Is anyone out there a big fan of either G.I. Joe or Transformers, since that's what I'm drawing? Batman, Captain America. That was the one that was actually set back in the 40s, right? I'm pretty sure I remember that. That's a great question, Nick, and I'd have to go back and flip through the book. It's been over a decade since that came out, to be clear. So I don't remember off the top of my head all the stories in it. It's pretty big. You can still easily get it at probably your library if you don't want to pay anything. But it's on Amazon. It's in bookstores. I frequently will see it if I go into a Barnes and Noble and remember to look. It's usually there. So it did pretty well. Not that I got rich off of it, but it was still a good experience overall. I think now that I think of it, I don't think that the person that organized it ever paid. I think he paid me an initial amount of $50 and then another $50, but I paid my colorist more than that. So I think I lost money on it now that I think of it, because I think we were supposed to get payments for what do you call it, residuals or something when they do other printings. Now that I totally forgot because, you just move on. But yeah, I never really got paid much for that. But I'm still proud of the book. It's a very nice book. The Joes turn into army vehicles, and the Transformers are covert elite military. We'll say close enough. Big fan of Transformers. Love G.I. Joe. Need to read the new issue. It's good. Hello. G.I. Joe also massively helped me get into comics. Massively. I like Void Rivals. I like where it's been going. Hey, congrats, Gene. You're smart. I'm not surprised that you won. It's really hard for me, Dave, to justify going to like more than like one convention where I travel a year because I have a day job, so I don't have lots of vacation hours. And believe it or not, YouTubers are not all wealthy living in mansions. So I'd love to go to that one. There's like 3 conventions I would really love to attend that I haven't. I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. I've heard great things about Connecticut's Terrificon, and yeah, the Indie Creators Comic-Con, that looks fantastic. I would really love to go to all of those. Yeah, pretty much. Void Rivals is the side quest comic no one expected to be as good. I don't know, though. I mean, it is Robert Kirkman. He's got a bit of cachet, but yeah. Oh, well, that's kind of you to say. Oh, wow. That's nice. Don't know yet. I'll be doing this probably for a while, and then maybe I'll just like heat up a can of low sodium soup or something. Am I making my life sound glamorous? I'm kind of glad I kept this Snake Eyes so simple because I feel like I'm really close to finishing blacking that out, and I can jump onto Soundwave, who kind of interests me a little bit more because I wouldn't want to draw Transformers all the time, but their proportions are so weird. You cannot just block it out the way you do a human being because they're really not in proportion, and they're all a little different from each other. You can get a wireframe underneath for like where the legs, arms, and head sort of will be, but they all have different proportions for like their shoulders and their heads and their chests and their forearms and their knees. They're all really weird, but that makes it kind of fun to draw if you don't have to draw it regularly. Soundwave is kind of cool because he's a little closer and he's kind of blocky. Thanks for dropping in. You might try and convince me to go, or OAX. If you aren't buying original art because you don't have the budget, though, is there other stuff to do at OAX? Because I feel like the main reason to go would be to buy art. Well, I like it, but, spend your money wisely. Everybody's enjoyment levels are different. How often do I draw technology? I can't really say that I draw it a lot because I don't feel like I draw, in detail every day. But, now that I think of it, I probably do sketch at least a little bit every day. I do love drawing. I don't always love the result, but I do love the process, if that makes sense. And I think that that's sort of a healthy way to approach it, to still enjoy the act, if not the final result. I mean, if you're doing it professionally, then yeah, the final result is super relevant. But if you're not, it's nice to just enjoy it. There's a comic called River at Night by Kevin Huizenga that depicts insomnia. Interesting. Chat with 50 to 80 creators, which is what I did last year. It was incredible. That would be kind of fun. That would be fun. I drew a car once. Whose car is better, Chris or McFarlane? Probably Todd. I mean, yeah. I'll give Todd better at literally drawing anything than I am, because he gets it done. You know, Todd actually said something at a convention that I was at like years and years back. I think maybe 1989 or something like that. Maybe earlier. Yeah, maybe earlier. I mean, he was doing Spider-Man, but it's hard to remember what year that was now. I was very young, though. But I saw him at a convention, and Todd said, you know, you don't always have to be the best artist, but you just need to be the artist that keeps putting out the work. Because if you can hit the deadline, that's what an editor is going to be looking for, you know? Not just like this other guy can draw one great piece, but it takes him a month to draw one page. Well, that's no good. That doesn't benefit anyone. In the business side of things, the business side of the equation. So he's like, you know, just work hard, and you know, if you can do your best and it's still very good, it doesn't have to be the best. It just has to be consistent and keep coming out. I love the original G.I. Joe comics, and they're still going today, and I still love them. Just really fun. Really, really fun. He's a fantastic businessman, a fantastic marketer. And you know what else? I think that he just is becoming a nicer person as he gets older. Not that he was ever a mean person. I have like one story that was awkward with him when I was at that same convention. But at the same time, I just see him reaching out to other people and saying kind things. I'm not saying he's a perfect person, but honestly, he impresses me a lot. I feel like he's become a gracious person, and he does employ a lot of people. So Todd impresses me. Todd does impress me. Interesting. That's always going to be like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say, right? Or at least Shakespeare did. Was that Shakespeare? I think that was Shakespeare. So yeah, your mileage is going to vary there. He's got a Sigma grind set. What did you guys read this week that stands out as something you really found exceptional? Because there was a lot of good comics this week. I'm trying to think. You know what? I haven't read everything that I picked up yet. Not that I picked up that much, but I haven't read everything. You know what? Oh yeah, I used to have googly eyes above my fireplace down here. Jack knocked them down, and I just didn't put them back up. Jack is my cat. Genuine person who's become more and more humble. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, Gene knew. He was incredibly nice to me in 2009. Wow. I can put them back on next time. Absolute Batman and X-Men. Yeah, we got Absolute Batman #2, Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez. We got Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko and Zach Davison. We got G.I. Joe #1 by Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley. And a few other things. So many good books this week. I always read older stuff. I'm working through Blood Hunt now. I liked Blood Hunt, honestly, as far as an event goes. I kind of thought that one was pretty darn good. It was concise enough and I thought that they used characters in interesting ways. And I think that was Pepe Larraz on art, which looked really good. I might in the future, but now isn't a good time. I would take ages to get it done. I've got too many things on my plate right now. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Absolute Batman, in 2000 AD. I didn't. None of my stores get that regularly. Last issue of Dark Age came out, right? Batman Dark Age. Mark Russell and Mike and Laura Allred. Yeah. You know what? I was saying this on my live show here on Monday. I think my favorite thus far is Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. And don't get me wrong, like I sincerely have enjoyed both Superman and Batman, but I think my favorite first issue was that Absolute Wonder Woman. It was so cool and different and badass, but still very respectful to the core personality of the character. You know, it's if anything, this is a Wonder Woman raised in a much harsher environment, and she still has compassion, which is beautiful. You're not that late. I was talking for a while, but thank you. Thank you. Appreciate anybody that's willing to be here. And again, I'll just mention, since this is the point of it, I've got a link in the description below. If you're in a position to donate $1 or $2 to charity, you can do that now. And if you want something for your donation, which is reasonable, this Saturday, the Bronze Age Nerd YouTube channel will be hosting a long live stream auctioning off original art by a lot of amazing pros, and also this, as well as some really cool signed items and some cool comics as well. So if you're either looking to support a charity or just enjoy getting some cool like key issues or original art, there you go. There you go. I think my sister is very artistic. I would say she focuses her efforts more on unique crafts. So she might make, you know, pieces of art out of stones or ocean glass that she picks up on the beach, or she might come up with really interesting prints on tote bags, you know. So she does a lot of really beautiful craft pieces that she gives people as, you know, gifts on birthdays and wedding anniversaries. And she works hard, like her church has an annual fair, and she donates a ton of beautiful craft items. So my sister can do anything. I focus a little bit more on drawing. My wife focuses a bit more on painting and music. Jean looks for original ideas to craft, you know, ornaments, all sorts of amazing things. She's a good cook. I mean, you say you don't draw, but honestly, I think that if a craft item required a bit of a drawing, like if you were making a tote bag that was maybe a silhouette of a sailboat or a lighthouse, and I'm just saying that because, you know, you're by the ocean, I really think that you take the time to get it right, and I think you could if the project called for it. I think that you have the care and attention to detail if it interested you. Anyway, yeah, I do think she's very artistic. Yeah, she definitely is. I didn't want to compete. I just like drawing. I would never have considered it competition if you wanted to draw. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The needle felt thing has been amazing. My sister, it's, you get like, you know, like this needle, I don't understand it exactly. And you like push the felt a million times and it shapes into a firm object. And she's given me some really cool stuff. She made me an Ewok and a baby Yoda, Grogu, and a BB-8. They're really cool, and they're all made out of felt. Very, very pretty. And yeah, just she's so talented. Yeah, I think I've got I don't know. I think that like art can be represented in a lot of different ways. I've always thought that, if somebody's a great gardener or somebody, grows flowers, if somebody cooks really well, that is art. And so, like, I bet you anything my dad would say, like, that he's not an artist, right? But I think he actually is a really good cook when he wants to. And I think that is a type of art. I think that I don't know, he always has had a beautiful home. So I think he's just got like a design sense that he wouldn't give himself credit for. But my mother makes a lot of crafts as well. A lot of crafts. Really, really cool. Let's see. Bob Budiansky actually corrected that Mark Teixeira did, in fact, do the covers for Transformers 3 and 4. No kidding. That is so interesting. Teixeira's work on issue 3 was misattributed to artist Mike Zeck for many years until Bob Budiansky corrected the mistake in 2021. That is absolutely fascinating because Mark Teixeira obviously grew his art style, and I never would have guessed that. A wrestling-themed bar in Burien, Washington? Oh, man, I've never heard of that, but that sounds awesome. Yeah, too bad it's on Monday, or I'd check something like that out. All right, time to focus on this Soundwave, and I'm trying to decide. I think I'll start with his cassette deck here because it's popping out and it's in the foreground. So I think I need to map that out. And I think I'm going to focus on not necessarily using a ruler to get all of these lines perfectly straight, because that can sap a little bit of the energy. And those little mistakes, sometimes they just look like mistakes, but sometimes if it's small enough, it can add to the piece. So yeah, I never would have guessed that that's the artist. Wow. Am I going to see Gladiator 2 and Wicked? Probably not Wicked. I would see the Broadway show. I don't have a lot of interest in the movie version. I would see the Broadway show. I like Broadway plays. I haven't seen lots of musicals, but I do like going to Broadway stuff. Gladiator 2, probably. I don't think that movie needed a sequel, but I'll probably see it. Just, I would say also it isn't a priority for me. But yeah, I'll probably go see it. But I don't think I need to see both. Yeah, I just, when somebody said that it was Mark Teixeira, I was like, it doesn't sound right, but I believe it if Budiansky said it. Yeah. I've seen Wicked on Broadway and off Broadway. I'd probably go see the movie. Well, that's fair. If you got like a basis to compare it. I didn't know you saw an off Broadway version. That's really cool, actually. Did you like it? Are the songs catchy, Jeannie? I mean, you must have liked it if you went to see it more than once. I didn't know that. Oof, boy. I mean, I hope for everybody's sake that it is good, but I'll be honest, Red One does not look good to me. The trailers are like, it's like they're saying the lines. The actors are saying the lines as though they're saying some sort of a joke, but they're not jokes. They're like, "We've got company," or "Heads up, this isn't normal." You know, it's all stuff like that, and I just don't get it. Who invited this bozo? That's the kind of stuff they're saying. I'm surprised you've never heard the music, like Gravity and Popular. I don't think I have. I guess we're really doing this. Well, that just happened. That was so not normal. We've got snowmen. That was not pretty. Only one of those is an actual line. The poster from Wicked was so good, it's impossible to live up to that art. Are you talking the poster for the original Broadway play, the close-up of the witch, and, you know, like the brim of the hat is like blocking the eyes? Because that is very catchy, actually. I wish Rock would do more stuff like Southland Tales. Boxer Santoris is some gonzo shit. Crazy movie. Crazy movie. I think at a certain point he gave up trying to do acting. Because you're right. Like early on, he was taking some smaller roles and it felt like he was challenging himself. And then he just stopped. I'll tell you, the pro wrestler that impresses me the most in terms of actual range and delivery and stuff is Batista. Dave Batista. I think the moment I realized I really liked his stuff was not necessarily even just Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a funny role, but you know, it doesn't give you too much of an idea of him as an actor necessarily, even though he did a good job. It was when he did a very small role in Blade Runner. What was it called? 2049, something like that. I was like, oh wow, you know, he's just playing this like sort of quiet man, just so different from everything else that I expected from him. Yeah, Pain and Gain is good. Has my friend Ken Jeong in there. I would love it if you hit the like button. Thank you. I did see Tin Man. Yes. No question I'll see Nosferatu. No question. That's Eggers, right? Directing that one? Because I'll see anything that guy does. But Nosferatu is great. You know what's cool? Batista seems like a genuinely pretty good person in real life, too. I haven't read it yet, but that surprised me to see that, yeah, it ended all of a sudden. I was not expecting that. It's a small role still, folks, but Blade Runner 2049 is quite a good film, and Batista's role in it is really, really something. Oh, storyboarded for the first one. No kidding. Oh yeah, John Cena is pretty funny. No question. He's really good. Yeah, actually, he's done a bunch of stuff that's really funny. Hasn't quite pushed himself in drama the same way that Batista has, uh, but he is very likable, and I feel like he still is pushing himself a little bit more than The Rock does now. And maybe it's not fair to compare them all. I don't know. It is Robert Eggers, yeah. Hola. Yep. Great in both Dune movies. Yeah. Will you take my idea? It's a bit symbolic, so will you? I'm not going to take anybody's idea. I would never do that. I want somebody to do their own idea, and I want to do my own ideas. No, I would never take your idea. Don't worry. Who's the other director that I like recently for horror? Ari Aster. Did Ari Aster did Hereditary and Midsummer, right? As far as modern movies go, and it's a few years now, but those are both quite good. I know what you mean about how, like, at a certain point, Sandler started cranking out some stuff that was pretty, uh, at best, mediocre. But you know what? Every once in a while, he still does like a drama, and I'm like, he's talented. He's legit talented. Uh, Uncut Gems, what a performance that is. That feels like such a believable, well-rounded, and flawed character, and is completely unlike anything he does in his comedy films. But if you haven't seen it, Uncut Gems is something special, folks. The Safdie brothers made that. They're quite good. They're quite good. Uh, and you know what? Maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but Sandler did one for Netflix like a couple years ago, Hubie Halloween. I found that one a little funny, not great, but I thought it was decent. Oh yeah, Punch Drunk Love was like a great performance by Sandler. But yeah, Uncut Gems is something special. Yeah, I'm really excited to see. Is it called The Monkey by Osgood Perkins? That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. I'm such a horror nerd these days. Uncut Gems, in my opinion, is the most Jewish New York movie ever made, and I am a New York Jew. I sort of know what you mean. It's not necessarily setting it up to be the most flattering, but it really is only the main character that's like, a mess. And I'm trying to think, like, what would be another good example, Dave, of like, a movie that just sort of focuses on a Jewish community in like New York. I'm trying to think. It's not coming to me. Yeah, Good Time. That was by the Safdie brothers as well. Stars Robert Pattinson. It's pretty damn good drama, folks. Thrilling, thrilling. Dave lives on the West Coast now, so that's why it's West Coast Dave Ventures. He's not lying. I did see Monkey Man, and it was fun. It was impressive too. It wasn't a perfect film, but I was impressed on like all the technical aspects of it, if that makes sense. Will you draw my idea? It's like a rough thing, so take it with a grain of salt. It's my first idea, and I want to see it come to life, and I'm bad at drawing. Oh, no, I don't have time for something like that. But I'll tell you, if you really believe in your idea, hire somebody to do it. Like, if you really believe in your idea, you got to develop it. You got to put the work in, because everybody has great ideas. Everybody has great ideas. The only reason any of them work is because somebody invested either their time to put a draft of it out into the world, or they spent their own money to hire somebody to work on it. Like, nobody's idea is like so good that you're like, you do it and we'll share in it. Like, no, you've the only way. I understand, but anyway, good luck. If you really believe in your idea, set some money aside, and yeah. Monkey Man's pretty cool. It's a good revenge story. Yeah. All right. I'm talking so much. I'm not drawing. Need to draw. And I hope that didn't sound harsh, what I was saying, but like, I am serious where everybody says they've got a great idea. And honestly, I bet almost everybody does have a great idea, but that's not enough. Everybody does have ideas. Ideas. I have said this before. Ideas are nearly worthless. Okay. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Ideas are nearly worthless. The way they become something worthwhile is when they become tangible, when you've taken the time to either develop it yourself or actually compensate somebody. Draw Monkey. Hello. Oh yeah, Helen of Windhorn came out this week too. That, who knows? That might be the best of the week. Monday, I'll do a live show. I'll give my reactions to everything that came out. But Helen of Windhorn has been blowing me away. I said away. Somebody was talking about Jaws, maybe because there was like talk about movies. I wanted to do an episode on my show that relied very heavily on a manga that I spent years, honestly, over a decade looking for. A Jaws manga. It was an adaptation made back when the original movie came out. And I love that movie, and I searched and I searched and I found it the last time I went to Japan. And I've misplaced it. I'm not going to say that I lost it. It's somewhere, but I've misplaced it. So I can't do my episode until I find it. And I feel like I've got a good idea, but oh, it's driving me bonkers. I cannot figure out where I put the damn thing. So I am not the most organized individual. That is probably my biggest flaw. Need to be better organized. Just thought of it because I saw people talking about Jaws. We'll get it. Oh, if they did. I did see Boy Kills World. I liked the martial arts in there. I liked some of it. I liked the crazy, wacky violence in the story. It still didn't quite come together as a perfect movie, but it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. You know what's not on anyone's list this week? Amazing Spider-Man. Don't they start that 8 Deaths of Spider-Man soon? Or did that start this week? I'm not up to date right now on Spider-Man. Someday I'll drop back in. I drop in and out of like mainstream stuff just to see what's what, because every once in a while you get a great creative team that's sort of left alone to do their own thing, and that's beautiful. There's all sorts of great ideas out there that you can do with some of these characters. But yeah. Oh, it did start this week? I'm curious about that. It sounds weird enough. I want to try it. Let's see. Again, I'll mention, just because it's the point of this show, there is a link in the description. And if you're so inclined, this piece will be auctioned off for charity on Saturday. But if you want to just donate to the charity early, we're raising money for Mission 22, veterans and their mental health. Anything you're able to do to support that is very much appreciated. I know I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I feel like I was ignoring this piece for too long. Let's throw down some lines and see what comes of that. Does anybody out there have a favorite Transformer? I do like Soundwave, I will say that. And I'll also say that I like Starscream. I find him very entertaining. Wheeljack, Prowl. Yeah, there's some underrated ones out there. Transformers, still very popular in Japan. Every time I go there, I see all sorts of Transformers stuff. So still very, very popular over there. Oh, I hit my PO box this week, and people have sent a lot of comics, indie comics. So sometime in the very near future, I will do another indie showcase where it's an unboxing episode of comics that have been sent in. And after I do that, I'll have to do another live stream, letting people promote, like, their online sort of projects, things like that. Let's see, another one for Wheeljack. Omega Supreme? He was a big one, wasn't he? Hot Shot. Wasn't that was like the blue fire engine? Am I right? Or was that Hot Spot? Maybe that's a different one. I don't know. I don't remember. I did an episode of my podcast, Direct Edition Podcast, where I talk about how Jaws directly influenced Nope and Godzilla -1. Oh, that's interesting, Dave. Godzilla -1. Yeah, I can see a little of that. I'd have to think about that some more. I like Ultra Magnus's design quite a bit, but not a great character. That's why I'm curious what they will be doing in the current Transformers version, because it looks like that is a character who is going to have massive PTSD and is going to have to go through something very real to get back to even a semblance of whatever he was. Well, then I'm sure I got it, Edison. Thank you. Hoist, sure. Thank you, Bronze Age Nerd. Trailblazer. I almost got that out. Cosmos. Cosmos is such a little weirdo. I loved those mini Transformers when I was young. I loved them. You know what? I just remembered. My grandmother on my mother's side was so amused by my Transformers when I was little, and she just really was very amused at how they would change and stuff. And so I insisted on this. I had my mother buy her a tiny Bumblebee car, and she kept that in like a drawer in her kitchen. And if the family went over, like if my mom went over for tea, my grandmother loved like sort of having proper tea. She would often pull that out, and it only required a few steps. She would just change it with me. Do you not remember that, Jeannie? Yeah. Grandma, we got her a Bumblebee, and she loved that like she loved the idea of the Transformers. She didn't watch the cartoons or anything like that. She wasn't gonna, but she very much loved just the idea of it and how they would change from one thing to a completely different thing. She loved it so much. She would be like, "Let me try." And so we got her a little Bumblebee, Power Glide, Beachcomber. Bumblebee becomes Goldbug. Plot points, characters all kind of match up in certain shots and filming techniques. I'm going to have to give that some very serious thought, because those are two movies I love a lot, and I hadn't really considered the similarities, but I'm going to. And I'll have to find that episode of your podcast. Bang! Zoom! Warpath. Grandma lore. Yeah, the Insecticons were fun ideas. You know what's funny is GoBots were such a stepchild idea compared to Transformers. It was almost funny how much, like, at least my friends and I would make fun of GoBots. I didn't actually ever have a GoBot. I would have totally taken one as a kid, but I didn't have any. Where was I going with this? They were definitely more affordable. Oh, I had a point, and now I totally forget what my point is. I just started bagging on GoBots. Oh, I remember now. The GoBots would do things, though, that, like, you were just like, are you trying to lose money here? For instance, they made a movie. They made a movie called GoBots Meet the Rock Lords. And their idea for, like, the new wave of toys was robots that transformed into rocks. And I'm sorry, but if you transform into a plane or a car, that's fun. You can play with that thing too. You can turn into an insect or a dinosaur. A kid can play with that. It doesn't necessarily make sense within the story that they'd need these things, but it was fun. You turn into a rock and you're a rock. That was such a weird idea. You had a couple rock lords. Am I missing something? Was there something cool about a big chunk of nothing? Want to kick rocks? Buy GoBots. That said, there is one GoBot out there that I would love to have on the card specifically. And I think it was what do you call it? A McDonald's Happy Meal thing. They had one that is it transforms into like a camper van. And I think he's even called Camper. I'd probably like that. I haven't read it, but I do like how crazy Tom got with G.I. Joe versus Transformers. So I would definitely consider checking that out. You did have rocks. Yeah, it's like, if you were the poor kid, you just go to school with some rocks and you'd be like, look, I bought GoBots too. I'll be transforming them later. Time to put these GoBots in my pocket. Well, I do know that my wife is not like super into collecting like, toys and stuff. I love looking at that stuff, but there is one she would like, and it was by Galoob, and it would transform from a gem into like a little doll. And I think it was called Sweet Secrets. So if I go to like comic conventions, I do always look at like the toy areas to see if I could find her a Sweet Secrets. Crystar Warriors. Yeah, Pet Rock. That was a pretty genius idea, by the way. Yeah, the Pet Rock. There was one where it was just painted green, and they said buy Kryptonite. DC licensed it to someone or other, and they were like, you could buy Kryptonite. Hey, kids, don't you want to hurt Superman? Buy your own Kryptonite. Yeah, that's Superman, guys. Had it too good for too long. Buy your own Kryptonite. I have the name right. I'll remember that, Chrissy. Someday, I bet I come across one. I bet I do someday, but I haven't yet. Sweet Secrets transforms from doll to gem. That's a pretty weird idea, but it's cute. Yeah, in another world. Finally, the GoBot has come back to Seattle. Oh, hold on. Get a message here. Just making sure it's not an emergency. I have friends that are doing 2 different charity events this week, and I'm trying to like be helpful on both of them. This is obviously one. Heroes for Heroes. Description in the bottom talked about it. My friend Chuck does an event every year called Extra Life, where he streams for 24 hours playing different video games and interacting with the audience and doing fun, silly challenges and stuff. And it's all to raise money for the local children's hospital. So that yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. It's not a gem. It's a locket you can wear. Oh, and you keep more secrets inside. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, that's still cute. Keep my secret. So I'll post a link to my social media for Chuck's event too, because that is sincerely entertaining to watch. He's funny. He's very good at games. He actually worked in the game industry for a long time. And yeah, so he always puts on a good show every year for his stream. And I sent him some crazy stuff to eat and drink without telling him what was coming. Because I just know he does silly little challenges here and there. Like every $250, he'll like do some sort of a challenge. I sent him the most sour candy that supposedly exists. It's supposed to be very intense. And then I sent a soda that's supposed to taste like grass. Oh, he's there in the chat. I'm going to add this to the wheel. Dude, I'm no obligation, obviously, but that was like my early part of trying to help give you stuff so that there's less on your plate to think about. Wait, you're doing a charity too? I can't keep up. I want to support all these charities. Yes, go eat, Dave. Go eat. Ooh, Paul McGann. Awesome, doctor. Oh, good. No, I know you'll do great. Dude, I forget how to direct people right now. Is there, aside from like, I mean, do you want to just either type the link or what it is, and I can highlight that here as part of like, letting people know what you've got going on? Because folks, that's just a fun stream. And yeah, raising money for a children's hospital, like I don't think anybody can complain about that. I don't think anybody's got a problem with helping sick kids. Imagine if you were like, nah. I'll keep talking in a moment, just adding a little detail here or there. Oh, yes, right. Yeah, I heard about that. My sister has a friend, and money's tight for everybody in the world right now. It's such a challenge, and their dog needs some surgery. That's such a tough thing to deal with. Good luck with that GoFundMe. Yeah. How often do you drink sour cream soda? I've never come across sour cream soda. The most disgusting one I had, I did drink in an episode of Comic Tropes. I think the second time I talk about Rob Liefeld's art, and I drank ranch soda. That was horrible. But in that same episode, Tony Moore does a cameo. Yeah, Walking Dead Tony Moore, and he chugs a whole bottle of that soda. I could not. A sip of it made me almost throw up. Oh, we've raised nearly $12,000 over 7 years. I want to break 15,000. I think you'll do that this year. I really do. If we break our record from 2021, I'll get a video game related tattoo chosen by the highest donor. Oh my God. That is really tempting to think of, like, permanently alter how your friend looks. Permanently alter all of it. Like, find like the most racist game ever created and make Chuck put it on his body. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. That is bold, Chuck. That is bold. But good for you for donating your time and efforts to something positive like that. It's a tough world we're in, folks, but you know, we make it better with the choices we make every day and the help that we give each other. And I know that all of you watching are super kind people, and where you can, you help. Don't expect everybody to be in a position to help all the time either, just to be clear. Oh, my sincere condolences. Super tough to go through for everybody. Super tough. I understand, dude. I know that you wouldn't just go like, I said I'd do it. Time to like ruin my life. I don't think anybody donating to charity for a children's hospital would be out there to get you and like ruin your life. So I don't think you need to worry about that. Mega Man 1. Is Mega Man 1 problematic somehow? I remember it being fun. Oh, you were thinking of the ranch. Got it. Sour cream soda sounds even worse to me somehow. I don't know why. It just sounds awful. Does not sound fun. Let's see here. Got to keep the shading consistent. So I'm going to add some black stuff known as shadow to Mr. Soundwave. Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior. That's the best I can do on short notice. The best I can do. Do TV stations still have public service announcements? I remember growing up, there'd always be like these really catchy songs that were always about like, you know, eating well-balanced meals and things like that. And sometimes just for like the dairy industry. I wonder if they still do things like that. Celery soda doesn't sound like it would be the worst. I don't think so, Beowulf, but I like your thinking. Ooh. Wow, what a question. Those are two things I absolutely hated the experience of. Which would I do again? Even though the ranch soda was much more disgusting, I'd rather have some of that because you'll recover faster. Oh yeah, I know all the technical terms. Black stuff. Meteor shower. I don't know. Chrissy, you still in there? How you feeling? Oh, I'll take Vince Coletta over ranch soda. That I have seen some people take the hot chip and be like, no, that wasn't that bad. And I am convinced after having like experienced it that those chips do not all get an equal amount of the sort of spicy powder applied to them. I really don't think it's consistent because I just don't think some people could handle it that much better. Because sometimes I see people and they're just like, not so bad. And I'm like, that's not just being tough. That like is not affecting you. Still feeling pretty bad, but hanging in there. Chrissy's been fighting pneumonia, we think. That's what the doctor guessed last time. So she's toughing it out. We're gonna go back to the hospital tomorrow. So we'll see how that. The 25-year-old bubblegum was horrific, but I'd actually probably put that in my mouth before ranch soda. Ooh, couldn't do it. Little bit. That's something that's amazing. tiny bit, boy, is that great. You eat a chunk of it, you're dying. It's not pleasant at all. Really interesting how some things can be good in moderation. Oh. Got a song in my head. I'm trying to remember what it is. I want to say it's by a 90s band called Dishwalla. Am I remembering that right? That there was a band called Dishwalla? Tell me all your thoughts on God. That's what's in my head for some reason. We did get antibiotics and an x-ray, yes. Are you ever going to drink on stream like you did in one Comic Tropes video? Now that it's several years past, I'm gonna share a secret with you folks. Those early episodes where I was like often drinking alcohol, that was usually real alcohol, but I wasn't always getting myself just plastered. I was playing it up a little bit, you know. I was playing it up a little bit because I didn't want to get myself sick. Some of the first two or three I was drinking a good amount. Some of them I did, but then I was a nothing channel when I did that. You know, like nobody was watching, so I was just doing silly things to have fun. Like that was really just to have fun. And as soon as like I started getting an audience, I knew that wasn't responsible, and you can't. So yeah, I phased all that out. It was always just me being silly and just having fun by myself. But that's why I phased it all out. That said, I would be up for at some point doing like a return to talking about actual tropes, like storytelling tropes, and like doing something kind of silly or weird for each one I came across. I would be up for doing that. Yeah, so we'll see. Happy Gilmore 2 is a go with Ben Stiller back. Well, I won't say his name, but I know somebody that's up for a small but speaking role in that movie, and I'm really hoping he gets it. A Song in My Heart. I remember you saying that to Derek Kirk Kim. Yeah. Oh, Derek is the best, by the way, folks. Every once in a while, you meet somebody in this field, and they are even better than you think, because, you know, it's interesting to talk to artists whose work you admire. But Derek is just a fantastic human being that every once in a while will just reach out and ask how I'm doing. And it's said with such sincerity. And I know, you know, everybody's got stuff going on in their lives. I really am glad I met that guy. He's so talented, but so kind. Anyway. So they say things like don't meet your heroes, but I don't think that that's really true. I've met so many people in this industry that are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, maybe I'll do that at some point. Maybe I'll do that. Not Ken Jeong. Not Ken Jeong. No, I'm talking somebody else. I don't want to say it until it's like a sure thing and all. Oh, that's. I'm glad you got something out of it. If you folks don't know who I'm talking about, I'm seeing if I've got an issue close by. Yeah, here's like an issue. The Last Mermaid has been one of my favorite books of the year. I always do a top 10 books of the last year, and I think this has a fantastic shot at making it into that list. It's been really, really good. Yeah. I got to meet JR Jr. and Javier Saltares at Rhode Island Comic Con. Oh, that's really nice. That's really, really cool. My friend Maddie and I used to and this is going back like to the late 90s and early 2000s. We would wait until Lou Ferrigno wasn't at his table at a convention and hop behind it and like pose and like take pictures and stuff. It was so silly. I think when you read it, like you'll read it fast. It's pretty darn. It's really well paced. It's really cool. Must have been late afternoon. I could tell by how far the shadows stretched out before us. I don't know the lyrics. Never mind. I don't know the lyrics. This is as good a time as any to tell you. The interview with Peach Momoko that I did this week, I flew out to Japan and we did the interview while singing karaoke at a karaoke bar. No, we didn't. That didn't happen. How cool would something like that be? Like, if I had an incredible, like, Mr. Beast budget, like, I would be taking artists to, like, places and, like, interviewing them, like, at wild events and stuff. That would be so fun. She walked with a purpose, counting blue skies in the streets. I'm really hesitant about inking these legs because I've blocked them out and I'm not confident I blocked them out well. I think I may pause and take another crack at it or sketch it out a little bit more in pencil first. I wouldn't say I am now, but growing up, I definitely was. I mean, I grew up with guys like Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. It was very easy to be a fan as a young child of the Celtics. There's just incredible talent on that team. But since I've moved around, I haven't kept up necessarily. What do you do with all the fan art you've received? I've received very few physical pieces. Almost everything I've shared on the show has been just like a digital email submission. But if somebody sends me a comic book or fan art or something, I keep it all. I've got it like all stacked up and kept safe, and yeah, I keep it all. I wouldn't say no. I don't have much in the way of actual fan art, but that's okay. That's a lot of physical stuff to keep. You caught me. You caught me. You got me. You need to interview the kid stuck in the bathroom one of these days. If he found me, I would be no more. That is pulling some deep lore, but the kid stuck in the bathroom would kill me if he found me. Kill me. Worst thing I ever did as a human being. But still kind of funny. Which means I'm not the worst human being. There's worse. You know what? I'm going to switch things up. Because... ta-da! I'm going to figure out these sort of legs and hands. And until then, I'm going to draw Ravage and Timber. So, Jeannie, if you're still watching, this is going to have some animals in it. Maybe you want to bid. There's way too many variations of Ravage for me to really base it on anything specific. I just block this out and I'll try to make it a little bit animalistic and a little bit robotic. Yeah. You would borrow Ravage, right? Like, didn't you like to borrow that one cassette tape and turn him into the Jaguar? Know what bathroom kid grew up to be? That's right, Joker. Let's see. Mr. Beast video would be like 10 comic book artists trapped in Artist Alley for 10 hours competing for $100. Yeah. Ravage can talk? I thought he could only growl. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Ravage can talk. It's nonsense. I don't believe you. Oh, you know what? Let me thank a friend of mine who helped. For drawing Soundwave here, I was like, how am I going to do this like get it right? Because I don't really remember. Like he seems to have a simple design, but I wanted to get it right, and so I was really thinking about it. And I have a friend who does have a modest Transformers collection. It's not of like the classic vintage stuff. It's of the he's got one or two of the masterpiece items, which included this. And he knew I was talking about drawing this, and he was like, "Would you like to borrow my masterpiece Soundwave for visual reference?" And that really helped. So thank you, Matt. Probably won't watch, but still. You would only allow me to hold it. I wasn't allowed to transform it. Is that true? I had to have let you transform it. Oh no, I'm the worst. My brother was very concerned I would break his toys, even though I never gave him any reason to think that. I was a weird kid in terms of I definitely was very careful with my toys. Like I didn't want to break them. It's kind of funny because now I don't even, have any of them anymore. But I was definitely, I know, concerned about keeping them in good shape. I don't know. I don't remember that I had a rule like that. But I believe you, Jeannie. I believe you. And I'm sorry if that's the case, because you should have been allowed to transform it. I feel terrible. I was young, and I was a jerk older brother. I let her hold it. Come on, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just so nice to have my sister here to really make me look like a hero to my audience. Like, this guy's a piece of crap. Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Was Overkill the like the pink rhinoceros type one? There was a gray. There was ram horn. I know for the good guys, but Overkill was something like that. Can you smile like Mr. Beast? Here. That's my best. White Dino. Oh yeah. I do remember now. Yeah. I love comic troops. Well, I appreciate you. He wouldn't play Barbies with me either. Well, that sounds right. But he did take me to the comic store and got me into Wonder Woman. You are getting into it, Jeannie, at a great time. You got the very first sort of like when it was getting rebooted, and George Perez was the artist and writer, and that was a really good era of Wonder Woman. So yeah, you got exposed to it at a good time. I didn't know that at the time. Like, I didn't know who the artist was or what was what. But in retrospect, I look back and I go, oh wow, you had some of the best issues of Wonder Woman. I'll say until today, like the stuff that Tom King is incredible. I say Tom King, but I mean his artists too, like Daniel Sampare and the whole team. The eyes aren't dead enough. Darn it, I've got too much humanity. I've got too much humanity in me. Oh, it's so good. Was Batman's Death in the Family Robin Lives on your radar? I was aware of it. I didn't pick it up. I'm aware that it's out. Yeah, 86 through 89. Great era for Wonder Woman. Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, in a way, like, Jeannie, like you were kind of lucky to have tried it then because they were starting fresh so that there was no like, remember in issue 32 when, Cersei first was introduced and was allergic to peanuts? There was none of that. It was just introducing story elements and taking it from there. Yeah, really cool. Wait, are you still at the bar? Oh, you do still have them? That's so cool. That's really cool. The cassette transformers were a blast. Rat Bat. I never had Rat Bat. I thought it looked cool. Which is better, Hera's run on Wonder Woman or Teen Titans? Ugh, they're both great. That's better. I don't know. I would probably still enjoy the Teen Titans era a little bit more, but functionally, that era of Wonder Woman may have done an awful lot to really grow the character for the modern day. Whereas, like in Teen Titans, I mean, the I don't know. It introduced the Nightwing version of Dick Grayson, and it introduced Deathstroke, super important. That's tough. They're both great, though, so, you can't go wrong with either. Oh, you're home. Got it. Yep. I know you're doing that tomorrow. I hope everything there goes well. The Ravage mold was used to make Howlback, who is just a blue Ravage. Well, they did that a bunch, I think, with Transformers, and it was like hard to keep track of it all. I think I'm going to draw this Ravage proportionally smaller than typical so that he's more the size of Timber the Wolf. I just feel like that would be more effective. Let me throw in some blacks. When in doubt, black it out, right? Right. Oh, thank you. What are some good shows right now? Penguin is over. That was pretty fantastic. I really liked Agatha All Along as well. I'm enjoying Don to Don on Netflix. But what else is good for like current shows that are on? I don't really know. I can't think of anything. Open to suggestions. Although I probably won't have time to watch it, I'm still open to suggestions. Shrinking. I've heard great things about that. Doom Patrol you liked? Got it. I've seen Spider-Man. Yeah. Wow. I think Buffy was a great show. I really do. I like it a lot. I would even argue, now that I think of it, that like without Buffy, I don't think that we'd have the same sort of superhero shows that we got on like the CW. I think that they really followed Buffy's model. A friend at work has been suggesting that one, The Old Man. What service is that on? I think the reason I haven't watched it is I don't have it. Is that like on Apple? If that's the case, it might be on something else though. I don't know. I used to like Unsolved Mystery back in the day. I haven't watched the new one. Oh, that Japanese Spider-Man theme song is the best. Oh no, you know what? I didn't take the time to see Crooked Man. I should. I should take the time to give it a shot. FX, I don't have FX, I don't think. I am back from my feeding time of raw anchovies and peppercorns. I guess that counts as protein. Halfway through Agatha, better than I expected, and is pretty much what I was hoping Multiverse of Madness would be. I thought it was a very good show. I really do. It was coming out at the same time as Penguin, and tonally those two shows are radically different, but they're both very good. Just my opinion. Yeah. Wow. That's all I've got in my head now. Did you guys know that they actually still play that song in Japan? It's always played on every train, every 30 minutes. Old Man is on Hulu. I think I've got the login to my sister's Hulu account. Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. I am watching that with Chrissy. We're behind, but I am watching that. I didn't even know there was a new Gundam Netflix series. I've never watched Gundam, though, so I don't really know the lore. I love the designs. I've built some of those things but I've never watched it. The Maid. The Maid. Ooh, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh, those damn enchiladas. Jim and I have recorded another trash movie bonanza. Oh my God, Jim is exposing me to the worst. The worst. I think that the next episode should be pretty funny. And if you haven't, check out that one that we did with Rob Schraub for Halloween 3. That, I think, is one of our best. I've seen The Mighty Boosh. Big fan of Matt. Oh, I'm so bad at names. What's his name? I can't think of it. Matt. Have you ever seen what's it called? Hold on. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place? That show's hilarious. Yeah, it does sort of feel like a Vertigo take on everything. Got it. The movie After Sun. Matt Berry, thank you. Just was not coming to me. Love Matt Berry. The first time I saw him was in Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. And I was like, are they dubbing his voice? Like, this voice is incredible. Like, what is this? No, that's just his voice. He is something special. New York City! You really are the most devious bastard in New York City. I didn't watch the What We Do in the Shadows for the first couple of seasons. I've caught up, but at first because I really loved that movie, and I was like, well, how could a TV version of it like compare? Oh, it's a very good show. I love Strange New Worlds. I'm going to say something that probably isn't like popular. I think it's become my favorite Star Trek show, and I know that's a little crazy, but I really like it. Um, I I love Deep Space Nine. I love the cast of Next Gen. I love the camaraderie and stuff of Kirk and Spock. I love a lot of different things but I love Strange New Worlds. Love it. Oh man, that's awesome. You know what? Oh, thinking of Godzilla, one of the ones that's rarely on streaming services is a pretty darn good one. Godzilla versus Biollante from the is that from the Heisei era? No, wait. I gotta think that through. I think it is late Heisei era. Anyway, Godzilla versus Biollante. Really good movie. Rarely on the streaming services. It is on Max right now. So recommend that. I watched that recently. Criminal has a lot of potential. Criminal has it's sort of well, if we're going to say the environmental episode, I think we have to go versus Hedera, the smog monster. But yes, Biollante has stuff to say about the environment, and it's cool. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. I've liked every episode. I like the characters, and I like what they do on that show. Oh, very cool. Biollante is a fantastic monster. Just this fusion of alligator and roses and Godzilla cells and the spirit of a dead girl, and it combines into one of the weirder but definitely more formidable monsters for Godzilla to go up against. Really, really cool. If you weren't streaming, do you rock the tunes while you draw? No, not a lot. I would, you know what I do for listening to stuff when I draw? Is I tend to put on podcasts, either comedy or true crime. If my sister has a good recommendation, I rely on her for like what the best true crime podcasts are. And so yeah, that's more what I listen to when I draw. I guess I mean sometimes I can listen to music, but typically no. I don't draw animals a lot, so this is definitely a challenge to draw Timber the wolf in a convincing manner. Doing my best. Whoa. If they get to the Archie spin-off of the Criminal series, they should bring the cast of Riverdale to play the roles. Archie spin-off from Criminal? That's not connecting for me. I don't know. I was recently rewatching the MC Hammer Addams Family music video. They do what they want to do, say what they want to say. The Addams Family. New York City. I can't do it justice, but if you haven't seen it, Matt Berry does a very hilarious pronunciation of New York City. Oh, I hope that this piece can raise some money for charity. I'm putting in the work. I'm trying my best. I really want it to succeed. If it raises $10, I'll be happy. If it can like raise as much as like 50 or something, I'll be ecstatic. Oh, I know a question for the audience that I'll open it up. Obviously, I'm doing this for Mission 22, veterans. And my friend Chuck, I mentioned, was doing a charity this week for raising money for the local children's hospital. I would say that, like, with my very few extra dollars that I tend to give to charities, some of the ones that I tend to support include local homelessness and trans protection. And then also, if I got any, which I haven't for the last couple of years, shark preservation and conservation. But that's me. What organizations, or at least ideas, do you look to support with your charity dollars? Well, thank you for your service, ChemDog. I appreciate that. Since I wasn't at the beginning of the stream, can you explain how this works with your drawing? So right now, I'm just drawing it to sort of build awareness and interest, Jeannie. And I've got a link in the description where you can donate to a charity called Mission 22 that helps veterans with mental health. And on Saturday, my friend, who has a YouTube channel called Bronze Age Nerd, does an annual event. He does a long live stream and he auctions off original art, rare comic books, all sorts of stuff. He's gotten a lot of donations from pros. This is just something I'm contributing. It probably won't raise the most money, but even if it raises a little, I feel like I've helped, and I'd love to help. ASPCA, and I don't know that one. Feedend? Feeding America. Sorry, I see what happened. Okay, Feeding America. I'll have to look that one up. That sounds good. And the ASPCA. Awesome. The Human Fund. Money for the people. SOS Honduras. They keep children out of the streets and have them study. Beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes it's like sad that we almost like have to do things like this, but whatever, it's how we shape the world into what we want it to be. So I support a charity called Tiny Changes in Scotland, which was founded after the memory of my friend Scott. It helps young people that deal with mental health crisis. Tiny Changes. That's great. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you sharing. The Trevor Project I've donated to as well. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about sort of like trans protection and stuff. Local people in need in the Trevor Project. Yeah. We are a military family that always appreciates veterans. Yep. Yeah. My dad served. My grandfather served. So, yep. I grew up in a time where it just wasn't really needed, to be honest. So otherwise, I probably would have felt an obligation. I think it's hard to describe. I really grew up and it was just we were in a time of peace, like when I was going to college and stuff. So it wasn't really something I strongly considered. But I as I got older and we got involved in the Middle East and stuff, our country, I go, boy, if I was 5 years younger, 10 years younger, I'm sure I would have just like done the same thing that my father and grandfather had done. I think I really would have. Easy to say, I know, but I think that that's the way my family might have like pushed. Oh, Planned Parenthood. Cool. Yeah. Yep. Well, that's great that a bunch of you out there are helping these organizations. That's really impressive. Good on you. Good on you. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one that needs charity. But then I remember there's people out there that have it much worse, and so I just find a way to make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Buy my cereal. I'm Captain Crunch. It's me, Captain Crunch. Let's see. I feel like it was always important and needed, but not talked about. Vietnam vets were not supported or welcomed home back in their day. Things changed radically, like after the Vietnam conflict. It's true. Yeah, those veterans were treated terribly. Whether you agree with, like, and I don't agree, like with what our country did going into that conflict, but I don't blame any of the service members that dedicated their life and health and time to what they believed was making the world better. It was very unfortunate, like how so many of them were treated. Um, I don't think we have all of the same problems today. It's the world is always different. It's always changing. It's hard to describe, isn't it? I have a lot of respect for the military. I do. And that may sound weird coming from somebody that's pretty far on the left of the political spectrum, but I've always had a lot of respect for the vets. It would be truly nice. It would truly be nice if veterans got 100% of the care they needed. My uncle, who was in Vietnam, had early Alzheimer's, and the VA is like, it is tough. The VA has helped my father-in-law a good amount. Um, so like I'm glad it's there. There's a lot of bureaucracy to it, and it's tough seeing like people not get the help they need. I always support my local animal shelter, a border collie shelter, and some local community charities, Community Christmas, Rolling Wave. That's awesome, Gene. It just means that you're helping to create, a community there that you can be proud of, and feel that you're doing your part, building it and being in it. Sometimes I feel like I'm not fully connected to my community since I've moved to Washington. I've done some outreach and help with homelessness, but I don't know if I do enough. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Local animal shelters always need more support. They do, and those poor animals don't they, they it's not their fault that they basically can become homeless and need assistance. Um, God, animals are so wonderful. I love animals. What's your favorite animal outside of pets? Outside of pets, what's your favorite animal? Whoa. Who's your favorite underrated Transformers character? Well, first of all, thank you for that donation, Kyle. Tell you what, I'm going to just invest that right back into the charity. But thank you. Thank you. My favorite underrated Transformer. I'm thinking this through because I was a big fan of Transformers as a kid. Um, I think I think Thundercracker. He is very easy to just say he's just one of the Jets and he isn't Starscream. But it was the first Transformer I ever got. And beyond that, the media has since sort of grown Thundercracker and he's a Decepticon who really doesn't fully believe that their cause is right and has big questions about like, am I on the right side? Is what we're doing truly like moral at the end of the day? And the current comic has him asking those same questions. And I personally won't be surprised if he swaps sides. So I would call him an underrated character. I love big cats of any kind. I enjoy bird watching with the Merlin app. Manatees are awesome. Yep. Aw, that's nice. Bigfoot is your favorite animal? Tasmanian tiger. Tasmanian tiger. Oh, that's right. They talk a bit like this. The great white shark. An important animal in the ocean's ecosystem. Uh, yeah, could seem a little scary, but really, really important animal. Sharks are sort of beautiful. I get a little scared because I saw Jaws young enough that I get like scared of, what they could do to me if I was in the ocean. But I also recognize that they're a very important part of our ecosystem, that they're in some parts of the world unfairly hunted and in some ways very what's the word when you're like cruel to animals? It's not inhumane, is it? I don't know. But just like when the thing that breaks my heart is when they're hunted and like their fin is cut off to make soup, and then the whole rest of the animal is tossed back into the water to just drown. That just breaks my heart. It really does. Cuttlefish. I've never heard somebody say they love cuttlefish. Okay. Bighorn sheep, because they were around me growing up, and I used to track the herds out in the desert for fun as a kid. That's amazing. Penguins and Mogwai and Totoro. Penguins are so beautiful how they, are kind to each other, how they like form partnerships for life, and how they both take all these important roles of raising an egg and also protecting each other from the cold, like taking turns being outside. Penguins are amazing. I'm something of an important animal myself. That was my impression of Dave as Norman Osborn. Armadillos. Oh my goodness! I lived for a while in the deeper south, in what do you call it? Louisiana, in New Orleans. Those poor things were always roadkill. Oh, those dumb little creatures, but they're so cute in their own way. Owls and hummingbirds are great. How can those both be avians? They are so different from each other. So wildly different. Owls can be a little creepy, except for when they're babies, and then I honestly think they're quite cute. What is the cutest animal? It's the red panda, right? The red panda is the cutest animal. I grew up in a culture that treasures shark fin soup, and I ate it as a kid. You might be happy to find out that it is almost completely non-existent in the restaurant scene. Last time I went to Hong Kong, they definitely still served it at like some of the restaurants that I went to. Uh, that was admittedly, oh, what, 5 or 6 years ago, the last time I went there. I've had it too before I really knew how, this was going back to like maybe 89 or 90. I had it and didn't really know how the sharks were treated. And I didn't find it a very, very tasty. It's sort of salty nothing. That was just my opinion. I didn't care for it. Raccoons, that's true. They can be cute. Yes. Owls do have interesting faces. I have had gator. Yeah, I've had gator. I wouldn't really call it I wouldn't really even say it tastes that different than people always say this, like chicken. It is, and it doesn't. I really felt like had too much of a flavor of its own. It really depends on probably what kind of like way you cook it. It was okay. I hadn't heard that. That oh, so maybe even the restaurant that I went to, maybe it wasn't authentic like shark fin. It was just called shark fin soup. That would be nice to know. Swamp chicken, yeah. So many animals get like compared. Well, you're like, I don't know. It's kind of like chicken. It's kind of true if it doesn't have a lot of flavor to itself. I had gator as a kid, but my parents said it was chicken, so me and my brother would eat it. It really isn't that different in a lot of ways, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, such different animals, but yeah. Let's see. Are you late? I mean, when it's a live stream, I feel like you're never early, you're never late. It's nice to see you, Brunson. Just sort of doodling right now. Um, I don't think I've had rattlesnake specifically. I've had snake, but now that you say that, I don't remember off the top of my head what kind of snake it was that I had. Um, that was gamier. That was yeah. That's the best way. I didn't love the texture to it. It was stringy, uh, from what I remember. Fried frog legs legit taste like chicken. I'm trying to remember if I tried frog when I was in New Orleans. I don't think. Oh no, I know when I had frog. I was like, I've had frog, but I don't remember having it in New Orleans. I didn't. I had friends that had an annual event when I lived in the DC area. It was called Meat Fest. And it was mostly like an end of summer barbecue where you had like, burgers and hot dogs. But they would always get a few more exotic meats that the local butcher had. And I had frog there. I had like cow tongue, sheep testicles. I didn't like most of them, but I would like it's there. It's been cooked. I'd take a bite. I could take a small bit. No, I don't like durian. I've tried durian. Yeah, no, I don't like durian. I could do it as a challenge. Snake is mostly pretty bad, but it depends on how you cook it. I've had duck and I do like duck. It's maybe a little greasy, but it's got flavor because it's got sort of like fat to it, basically. It's got flavor. Um, I've had it at like at Chinese restaurants a couple times, and one time my stepmom for Thanksgiving made a turducken, chicken inside a duck inside a turkey. It was pretty delicious. Gene, I think you went there, right? Like when Nancy made the turducken, it was pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. To be fair, the snails I had weren't like made at a fancy restaurant. I literally got sort of like a tin of them at like the international supermarket and had them as like a little challenge on a video. That's probably not the way they're prepared at a nice restaurant, but it was pretty awful. I've had rabbit, and it was good. Boy, I had rabbit one time in New Orleans. It was made with like a blueberry glaze. It was honestly pretty fantastic. But I'm talking about so much food. I know I've got like vegetarians and stuff, and probably I'm grossing some people out. Oh, it's so good. Deep fried turkey is so good. I'll move on from food. But yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't do all your videos with your southern accent. Well, I've got more than one, because I've also got my Kentucky accent, where I talk a little bit like Robert Kirkman. A little bit. Got more than one. Depends on what kind of a voice you want out of me this week. I'm almost slipping into like a Bill Clinton impression there. I don't know. I did not have sex with that woman. I'll just start doing all the presidents. Give me a president, I'll give a perfect impression. Any president. You give me Polk, you give me Van Buren. I know how they all sound. Trust me. I can do a perfect impression. Definitely doesn't sound like Dana Carvey or Will Ferrell or Seth Meyers. It's definitely not me doing their impression. That Kentucky accent sounded like a Scottish person who got really lost. Some people have said that's what Robert Kirkman sounds like. I am not a truck. 7 years ago. He didn't really sound like that, by the way. How's it going? John Quincy Adams, all right? I've got a lot on my plate here. Hey, no fooling, for real. Listen up. I got something to share with you. Hello, I'm LBJ. Well, I'm Grover Cleveland, and I'm here to say I'm here to fix the country in a Grover Cleveland way. There's not much that I can do with Obama. It's been several years. Some people call them months. And I don't have it in very good practice. Well, it's me, Woodrow Wilson, and I'm here to row with some wood on your Wilson. That's just his famous catchphrase. James A. Garfield. I hate Mondays. I've never tried, I don't think. Autobots, transform! Roll out! Maybe close. A little practice, maybe I could get it. John Quincy Adams here. I got a lot of trouble with time traveling. Ford. Hello, the name's Gerald Ford. What's up, bitches? Did I get it? As president in Captain Air Force One America. I told you, I only wanted the green jelly beans. You only gave me greens and reds and browns. So listen, get off my plane. Read my lips. No new comics. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Let's Boys. Yes, how you do? George Bush, George Washington, isn't it? I think that's it. I don't know which one you guys are like. I'm seeing like some like laughing emojis, and I don't even know like which impression like got it. So thank you. Thank you. You've been a great audience. I appreciate you listening to my terrible impressions. I'll be here all week. Remember to tip your waitress. Oh boy. But yeah, there we go. Some perfect impressions, I think. And really, they're the best impressions you can hear anywhere. Clip this segment and make it a reel. Oh, God bless you if you do. James Monroe, but when he was negotiating the particulars of the Louisiana Purchase in Napoleon's court. All right. Listen up. I came here to do two things. Negotiate the particulars of the Louisiana Purchase in your courtroom, Napoleon, and to kick ass. So unless you want number two to happen, James Monroe is gonna negotiate some particulars. It's a perfect impression. I've studied a lot about James Monroe. That really is what he sounds like. Those impressions deserve more likes. I don't know about that. You like the monocle? Thank you. I wanted to make sure I was accurate. I'm going purely for historical accuracy here, folks. None of that was fun for me. It wasn't like, ha, that's a silly voice. Oh, let's make fun of the president for doing this, that, or the other. That was just me trying to educate people, okay? I'm trying to raise money for charity. We're here for important reasons. I hope you got something out of that and learned a little bit more about our beautiful American history and our fascinating executive branch of government. I would put it in the top 3 branches of government. For me, it's going to definitely be like legislative, the one that does the laws, and executive. Executive number 3, but top 3 branches of government. Top 3. Thank you for letting me take a break from drawing by giving you completely accurate, not really fun in any way, but completely accurate vocal impressions of, honestly, a series of leaders who I don't think anybody could find any flaws with whatsoever. We're truly a blessed nation where we've lucked out with, just hero after hero, from Jackson to Nixon to Trump, just some beautiful, beautiful people that just do nothing but good. Judicial, like I say, legal. It's my second favorite branch of government. I knew that. He really did? I am here to say I am a jelly donut. If you know your history, that was actually a funny joke. Oh, I don't think I could do a good Linkara, and I don't want to tease Linkara. Linkara was kind enough to come on a recent episode of mine just to do a silly gag. So, yeah, I don't want to. If I had a good one in my holster, I'd pull it out, but I don't. What? That wasn't Quimby. That was totally completely accurate. Oh yeah, right, Quimby, Mayor Quimby, right? Yeah. Entertaining and educative. Educative. That's the word I was looking for. This is fun. Fun drawing, fun chatting. Did I have fun doing impressions? Hell no. No. That part was just for educational purposes. But everything else tonight has been a blast. You are some very kind and well-educated comic book readers out there. Yeah, I'm lucky. Mount Rushmore of a different ilk. Okay. By Vin Diesel. Here's my impression of Vin Diesel doing a commercial for Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. Thank you. Braun and CoverGirl in one of the comics got married and had a kid. That can't be true. That's too ridiculous. Oh yeah, right. Because I've got every world leader in my back pocket, just to be clear. Because I definitely am super familiar with Canada's impressive and long history of giving us some classy world leaders. It's the kind of thing that I just know off the top of my head. You don't need me to do any research if I was going to talk to you about Canadian prime ministers. It's just one of the things that I know really well. I know so well that I could easily do an impression of anyone from John A. MacDonald, all the way up to Justin Trudeau. And you throw in a Lester B. Pearson, no problem for me. I'm as familiar with him as I am with Arthur Meighen, or the great John Sparrow David Thompson. For that matter, who can forget Canada's first female prime minister, Kim Campbell? I know them all, and I don't have to look them up or anything. Kim, are you talking about Ken Jeong, or are you talking about Kim Jong-un? I don't know. What typing sounds? No. I can do a great Boutros Ghali impression. But since I'm white, I'm not going to do it. Okay? I could, because I can control my voice to that level, but it wouldn't be appropriate. That's not cool. Okay? That's the only reason I won't do it. Otherwise, you definitely would hear it. Sometimes I am like Google with the amount of information off the top of my head. Like the fact that, Pierre Trudeau, who served as the 15th Prime Minister of Canada, came a long time before Justin Trudeau. And, that's interesting because of their relationship with each other, which is not to say just that they were both prime ministers. It's that Pierre was Justin's father. And that's just something I know because I keep up with world history. That's just something I know. What? Transformers versus G.I. Joe, issue 13, cover date 2016. Was that Tom Scioli's? Did he have Braun and CoverGirl get married? Anyway, yeah, so, that's me doing it for Canada. I mean, yeah, you give me any country from, Bhutan to Equatorial Guinea to Kosovo, I mean, I'm going to know all their world leaders and I'm going to be able to rattle off a perfect impression, but I can't always do it out of, being respectful to their culture and history. That's all. Yeah, you're in school and someone left the nitrous on and I can't stop laughing. I'll take it. I don't know why you'd be laughing at history and education, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I really don't know if I see the humor in learning or talking, I should say, because I didn't learn it just now. I've always known these things about Canadian history. But thank you. Yeah. Thank you nonetheless. Thank you, sixpence none the richer. I should be an honorary Canadian. In many ways, I do consider myself an honorary Canadian. I guess it's just that, I know the history of Canada and can list all of their 10 provinces and 3 territories. I won't do that because I don't want to embarrass you. Like, great, I know it. Yes, I imagine it is. Anyway, here's one thing I could do. All right, so I might have been joking around just then. I don't think it would be impressive. It would probably not be entertaining, but I think I could list all 196 countries in the world. I'm pretty sure that is a piece of trivia that I sincerely do have in the chamber. That's probably the extent of my geographical expertise, we'll say. I think I could. Let's see. Do it. If I did it, I can't draw at the same time. So I'd need at least 3 people to say that would be interesting because I don't think it would be. But if you want me to, I think I could probably name all 196 countries in the world. I think I could. Do it. My sister's double dog dared me. I don't know if that's really why people tune into comic book channels, though. Don't think it is. Tari, thank you for jumping in. Can I counter a do it with a don't? No, because I said if 3 people said it that I do it. Okay, let's see if I can. I'm trying to think though. Okay, so I could start rattling this off, but I don't know how you keep track if I've done it right or not. But I'm going to go for it. Okay, I'm going to try to and I'm not. I won't touch the computer or anything. Okay, I think I can. I'm going to sort of try to go more or less geographically. Somebody will have to sort of keep track, which isn't going to be easy because I'm going to try to do it fast. But let's go for it. Okay. Canada, USA, Mexico, Antigua, Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, Dominica, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Guatemala, El Salvador, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Samoa, Kiribati, New Zealand, Australia, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, Fiji, Tonga, Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Solomon Islands, Nauru, Palau, Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, China, North Korea, South Korea, Japan, China, Mongolia, Russia. Jumping over, Bhutan, Brunei, Bangladesh, Nepal, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Syria, Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Yemen. We'll jump over to Europe, Denmark, Iceland, Ireland, UK, Portugal, Spain, Andorra, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, Austria, Italy, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, Slovakia, Slovenia, San Marino, Monaco, Macedonia, Montenegro, did I say Kosovo and Croatia? I don't think I did. Albania, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Vatican, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, Bosnia, Serbia, Hungary. I think that's everything there. So we just have Africa. Okay. Egypt, Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Burkina Faso. I'm just going to jump all over the place now. Tanzania, Mozambique, Madagascar, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, Lesotho, South Africa, Mauritius, Mauritania, Cape Verde, Sao Tome, Comoros, Seychelles, Maldives, Sri Lanka, if I didn't mention that before. I don't think I did. Okay. Tunisia, Libya, Angola, Algeria. Did I say? I don't think I did. Mali, Malawi, Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, Ghana, Gambia, the Gabon, Senegal, Benin, Togo, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea, Sierra Leone, I'll say that's it. I think I did it. Did I? Did anyone keep track? If I got that, I'm proud of myself. I'm at least close. I said Eritrea and Djibouti. I know I said that one. But Hell yeah! Then it was worth it. Then it was totally worth it. I did miss one. I did say Vatican. I did say Zambia and Zimbabwe, Jeannie. Oh, you're right. I don't think, you know what? I think I forgot a few. Sudan, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Congo, and Democratic People's Republic of Congo. Sorry. I did forget a few. My favorite Transformer is Tracks. Thank you for the super chat. I did miss a couple for a second. I wasn't thinking. No, a couple people have said Wakanda, and Wakanda is not a real country. Neither is Latveria or Simkaria. Or, DC has one or two that like Geoforce comes from, but no. I'm not doing that. I'm not listing all the fictional countries as well. I may not have gotten them all. I feel like if I didn't get them all, that I was damn close. That was interesting to think through. That was a challenge. No, I'm not going to anymore. I'm positive. No, I swear you can go back. I'm positive I said San Marino, and I'm positive I said Russia. I'm positive. I was rattling them off fast, though, so who knows? It's easy for me to say because I feel like I do know them, but maybe I didn't. I think I did. I really do. I feel very confident that I said those. Thank you. Double Dog Dare beat. Yes, not only did Transformers in season 3 make the very terrible joke of having a Middle Eastern country called Carbamia, that's what got Casey Kasem to quit Transformers. Casey Kasem famously did the voice of Cliff Jumper, and he was very offended by that, and he quit the show over it. So, terrible joke. Swaziland is not recognized as a country anymore. It's called something else, that area, which I forget, but I definitely listed it. That was funny? Okay. Now, that was probably the extent of what I would be able to do geographically, because I don't think I'd be able to tell you the capital of every single one. Maybe 50%. I'm not going to take another challenge. I'm just saying I don't think I'd know the capital of every one of those countries. I sincerely do try to stay up to date with just the news and politics in the world. I definitely said Eswatini. I remember I said Eswatini and Lesotho right before I said South Africa. Oh, I see. Yes, excuse me. People were saying Swaziland. It just popped into my head that that's what you're saying. You're not saying I forgot it. You're saying Swaziland. Now, Eswatini. Yes, excuse me. I get it. A bunch of small island nations in Oceania and West Indies that are easy to forget. Yeah, but I was getting those. Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Tonga. I was banging all of them out. West Indies. Yeah, we've got Brunei and I don't know, just Singapore, Bahrain, things like that. Yeah. The reason I know that is related to comics, actually. It's not up anymore, but my friend Paul used to have a great website called The Robot's Pajamas, and I started writing nerdy articles for it. And he let me just sort of become basically the editor. And every day we'd have at least one article, sometimes multiple. I definitely mentioned the St. Kitts, St. Vincent, and St. Lucia. Yes. I missed one Middle Eastern country. If you give me the first letter, I could try to. But I thought that I can barely do the states. I can do the states. Anyway, so I would write different weird nerdy articles. Sometimes you come up with things that are closer to top 10 lists. I decided to do some research and try to do the most iconic superhero that was created in every single country, or if not that, then the most famous fictional hero, if they at least had, say, like a novelist or a cartoonist or something like that. And if not that, then maybe at least the most famous god of like a local religion. So, a couple people saying a Middle Eastern. Did I not say Pakistan? Because I thought I did. But two people are saying P, and I don't think that there's another country in the Middle East that starts with P. But that's where, see, if without a checklist or a visual map, I'm a very visual person. It was hard to say if I did it or not. Oh, okay. Well, I understand that, but I don't think Palestine is recognized by the UN, right? That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That wasn't necessarily me overlooking it so much as going by what the UN recognizes, and I don't think that they recognize it as an independent country. Which, and I'm not saying right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure about that. You think it does? Maybe. At least in my head, I was trying to list like I think that there's and I could be wrong, folks. I could be wrong. I thought that there were 196 recognized countries, but maybe I'm wrong. It's not my area of expertise. I had done an article. Oh, the UN does recognize it, Samuel says. Okay. Well, then that would be an oversight. It just wasn't from like what I had studied at one point. But that's fair. Well, I'm sure I could get that. I can't believe I was just a second ago like just rattling off random countries. That's so silly. I'm sorry, folks. That was one of the sillier things I've done on this channel. It was kind of fun. I don't know if I got it all right, but it was fun to try. Thank you for bearing with my silliness. Grade A entertainment. Trash geography bonanza. Well, maybe we learned a little bit. Pipupia. Pipupia was a country, but then you woke up and it ceased to exist. Yeah. Dave definitely ran around in a circle super fast 20 million times. How long am I going to stream? I'm about to end, I think. I'm about to end. What do I need to do? I'm going to have this finished for Saturday, okay? And I'll send pictures to Bronze Age Nerd so that like during the stream, people can see what they would be potentially bidding on. But yeah, do need to have some dinner. And oh, if you didn't know, I'm on the undercard of tomorrow's Logan Paul Mike Tyson fight. I'll be fighting Mr. Fufai, who's a YouTuber on my level. He's got 10 subscribers. And so, yeah, tomorrow I'll be on that. And I need to, carbo load tonight. So going to order myself a Little Caesars pizza so that I'm in fighting shape for the event tomorrow. Hope you'll all be there cheering me on. I took a boxing lesson when I was in 8th grade, so I think I'm in pretty good shape. Just kidding. Maybe this is just who I want, but I sincerely think Mike Tyson's in great shape. I don't think he's got his speed, maybe not quite the stamina, but I bet he still has almost all of his strength, and he's got a lot of technique and experience, and I think that that's going to all right, you know what? No, they can't all be winners. It's live, okay? Yeah, if I was putting money on it, I'd put it on Tyson. But maybe that's just what I want. I would love it. And you never know with these sort of weird celebrity events if, supposedly it's a sanctioned boxing match, right? But you got to wonder, do they sort of say, hey, look, try not to hit each other in the head too much if you can? Or do they say, focus more on body shots just so that nobody gets hurt too bad? I wonder. I wonder. We'll see. I don't think it'd be rigged, but we'll see. Look, if what's his name? If Jake Paul wins, I do think it's possible. He's in really good shape. He is, and he's had a few fights. And Mike Tyson's up there in years for a fighter, but I think that he looks good. I think he looks ready to fight. I think he's got it. That's who I would bet on, but I'm not going to bet. Yeah, it's Jake. What are you going to cook me for dinner? Okay. That's as good an excuse as any to wrap things up, right? When my wife, who is fighting pneumonia, needs some food, I think you guys can give me the capacity to wrap it up. So that's what I came up with so far. I will finish this, and I'll go ahead and just put a remark of a Baroness up here. But yeah, so we've got Ravage and Timber are just about done. Just need to figure out blocking out some of Soundwave's legs, and I think that'll work. Thank you, folks. Hope you'll consider checking out the Bronze Age Nerd channel on on Saturday. He's going to be live streaming. He's got a lot of fantastic pieces of original art and great comic books and signed comics and signed things. So there's a lot of great stuff there. I hope you'll really consider checking out that channel and maybe donating to a good cause. But it was really fun, if not, just to do this. Thank you for some of the super chats. I'm going to add it up, and I'm going to personally just use that towards what I'm going to donate to the charity. So the link is in the description. Even if you're watching this later, you can donate. It goes straight to Mission 22. There's no in-between or anything. It just goes straight to the charity. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the kind words and the conversation. And I will see you real soon. Take care, everybody. Keep reading comics. Bye. Tell you what, double salute. Double salute. You earned it.